and where about 2 million Afghanis are still unable to return home. In Iraq, as levels of violence constantly fluctuate, the United Nations continues to offer development and humanitarian assistance in a dangerous and complex environment. 5 months of ceasefire between Israel and Palestine ended in November with renewed rocket attacks and airstrikes. When Israel closed the border, 1.5 million people in Gaza faced acute food and fuel shortages. The international community, meanwhile, continued its effort to bring the two parties to the negotiating table. Shimon Peres, President of Israel.
If there is a will, as the Arabs are saying, there is a way. What was today demonstrated is the will. We know that we have to work for the way.
Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas.
We remain committed to international legitimacy and extend our hands for dialogue.
While India and Pakistan were delicately moving toward improved relations, terror attacks in Mumbai shocked the world. Nearly 200 people were killed and more than 300 injured. At a meeting to promote the culture of peace and interfaith dialogue, world leaders agreed to reject the use of religion to justify terror. Earlier in the year, Pope Benedict visited the United Nations and expressed his hope for dialogue between religions to build a common world. Pope Benedict.
Recognition of the transcendent value of either men and women favors conversion of heart, which then leads to a commitment to resist violence, terrorism and war, and to promote justice and peace.
With Kosovo unilaterally declaring independence in February, the UN's peacekeeping role there is coming to an end. But tensions remain. The country's Serb minority protested fiercely against the decision, and UN police were called to restore calm. Also in the Balkans, one of the world's most wanted men, Radovan Karadzic, was arrested after more than a decade on the run. He was indicted by the UN tribunal for war crimes in the former Yugoslavia. 2008 was also a year in which catastrophic natural disasters hit some of the poorest people in the world. Haiti was slammed by 4 consecutive hurricanes, causing almost 900 deaths, including 90 people who died after this school collapsed due to the rain. But the biggest disaster, Cyclone Nargis, hit Myanmar in early May, leaving some 140,000 dead or missing and causing suffering for more than 2 million people. With international aid agencies unable to get rapid access to those in need, the UN Secretary General traveled to Myanmar to pave the way for the full and unrestricted flow of aid. With so many developing countries affected by disaster, climate change, and now the twin crises, food and finance, world leaders met to renew their commitment to the Millennium Development Goals.
Our commitment is to drop this figure further.
A set of targets and timeframes endorsed 8 years ago to address the most crucial issues facing humanity in the next decade. While some targets, like universal education, are on track, others lag behind, like ending extreme poverty and hunger, especially in Africa. World leaders pledged $16 billion, but at year's end, there are fears that the financial crisis will reduce international donations. In 2008, for all too many, respect for the dignity and rights of all human beings still remained a distant vision. This despite the 60th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which is the standard against which all societies and all governments must be measured. 60 years on, it remains a shining example of what can be achieved through global solidarity. Ban Ki-moon.
The need for global solidarity is more important than ever. Crisis has brought us to this new multilateral moment. In crisis lies opportunity. From the economy to peace and security, from climate to energy and food, the time has come to take multilateralism to a new, stronger and more inclusive level.
With the food and finance crises now threatening the basic security of millions around the world, the United Nations is called upon once more to help, to build partnerships with governments and the private sector to help turn potential disaster into new opportunities.